Made this video earlier today. Camera shut off. Oh man. Some of these guys on YouTube make it look so easy. Guy runs a whole YouTube channel and he says all I've got is a $200 phone and that's it. And everything seems to go perfect, So I did this morning. It did not go perfect. But out here in my shop again. So, normally when we eat, even at a restaurant, you go out, go out to eat, maybe some friends invite you to eat, you're served so many courses, 6 course, 8 course, maybe they throw in some dessert and, 9 courses, actually, normally it's like that, 12 courses, go to a fancy restaurant, but usually I have been to a feast where there's been over 100 courses, several times. Back in the 70s. But, it's rare, but, and like, I was thinking about life, life, you're born into this world, and it's like as you slowly wake up, there's like a feast, all these dishes are in front of you it's served to you, it's served to you. It's like, I didn't, like my life, I'm 72 years old, what is served, what's on your plate, you definitely have you can have something to do with that. A lot of it you can't. But, I've always said, like I'm in my wood shop right now, I learned in this little building that right actions produce right results. I learned that wrong actions produce wrong results. Build a chair and accidentally cut one of the legs a quarter inch too short, and you don't know it, and you put it all together and you set it down on the ground and the thing wobbles. One mistake, so that a wrong action will produce wrong results. So yeah, if you go through your life producing a lot of wrong actions, doing a lot of things that you should not be doing, that are wrong, well then you're going to get a lot of wrong results. There's going to be that plate, maybe this plate here, we can control a little bit by our action, but there's this feast called life that is served up to us. I mean, most of it we have nothing to do with. It's just served to us. What am I talking about? Like, think about it. You're born, you're a little infant. That's the way life starts out for us. That's just the way life is. Infant. You can't feed yourself. You can't clean yourself. You can't burp yourself. You can hardly comfort yourself. You can't shelter yourself as a little baby, from heat or cold. I mean, you're 100% totally dependent. So there's that, and then you get a little bit bigger. You get a little bit bigger, and then you have all your childhood diseases. Like if you want to, that's served up to you. Think of all the childhood diseases, the pain and suffering that toothaches and sickness and measles and chickenpox and inoculations and sore throats, tonsillitis, appendicitis. I mean, just things that that we go through as children, you know, and that's kind of served up to us on a plate, you know. You know, then we get a little bit older, and then we enter the world of hormones. You know, it becomes sex. It's something that stays with you. Once that kicks in, your body is flooded with those hormones. I mean, it just drives you like crazy. You know, put that on a plate. You know, this feast that we call life, this banquet. And it's not that like it's only affects you in your teenage years. I mean, it's maybe felt more in your teenage years. You know, I mean, it doesn't take much to get yourself aroused when you're 15 years old. But the thing is, it stays with you and stays with you. I mean, you know. Read an article the other day, sex in nursing homes. I got an article, you know, all the sex that takes place in nursing homes. And I remember my dad, 90-some years old, still, you know, 90-some years old, just a very short period he passed away, but still right there, you know, looking at the nurse and look at the, you know, I mean, you think you grow up, you'd escape this, but it just, you know, think about in Hollywood, all these actresses that are raped and abused, all these, you know, and here's this one actress, a woman. You know, her name has been in the news. She is some star, very beautiful gal. Well, you know, it's not that she's the victim. She's trafficking in child sex and getting all these women involved in this New York sex cult. And I guess they brand them with a hot iron. They've been branded. You know, they belong to this guy, and you know, and apparently, a lot of very powerful people belong to this sex club, sex cult. People in, you know, very distinguished attorneys, you know, and, you know, here, you know, they drag these, you know, common folks like me, you know, we got to go stand in front of this judge, and, you know, he looks so in his black robe or whatever, you know, they're all, maybe the attorney, the prosecutor, they all look so professional, and hell, behind the scenes are just a bunch of perverts. So this sex thing just, you know, it's handed out to you. It's like it's on a plate. There you are. It's placed in front of you. Think about confusion. You know, confusion is a dish that is served to us. You know, what are we confused about? We're confused about religion. We're confused about God. We're confused about politics. We're confused about UFOs. Those chemtrails in the sky, are they good? Are they bad? Or what are they? We're confused about that. We're confused about the truth. We're confused about our friends, perhaps, our lovers. I mean, how many divorces have you been through? Or you know, at least it's people get divorced 1, 2, 3 times. Think about, you know, trust, and it's just confusion. You know, and then we also have fear. We're fearful. You know, do I have enough money? It says here, how should I invest my money? Should I buy gold, silver, Bitcoin, crypto, stocks, real estate? Will I lose my job? See, fears. How are we going to pay for all the things that break and need fixing? You know, right now I need a hot water heater. Well, there's about $900. You know, what about my automobile? My Jeep broke the other day. Well, that was $300 to get that fixed. If you count in the $60 towing, I had to tow it to the repair shop. You know, my hot water heater, I think I mentioned that. You know, air conditioners can break. Every 20 years you need a new roof. Every 20 years you got to come up with $20,000. You know, so we're fearful. Bills mount up, medical bills, this bill, that bill. You know, so, you know, we fear people, you know, fearful about our death. I'm 72 years old. Well, it's coming up. You know, there's fear, you know, you fear, well, am I going to lose my mind? Become a babbling idiot, not be able to remember anything. You know, dementia, old age. So anyhow, fear is like over. This is here's a dish. You know, put that on your plate. You know, life. Like imagine this table, this feast that is served up to us. I'm just saying. I'm making this video. I'm just saying what's in front of me. There's fear. There's. You know what is there? You know, when I was 15 years old, we woke up to this. You know, you're into this. You know, your hormones are raging. Well, that's there. You know, I'm not making this up. These things are there. So, you know, I mean, besides the hormones, you know, sex that is driving everybody, there's other hormones, you know, food. You know, can you control what you eat? I mean, golly, it's like, I can't tell you how much I love ice cream. I can eat ice cream all day long, it seems like. I can eat it, and then I still want to eat more, or certain cookies, you know, I'll eat them, and like ginger snaps, you can't eat enough of them, they taste so good. Cannot get satisfied, you know. Not able to reach satisfaction. It's you know, there's like, it's an addiction. And then there's people, thank God I'm not addicted to it. I've never smoked cigarettes. I've never really liked alcohol too much. This here's a can of bubbly water. If you haven't discovered this stuff, it's fantastic. It's just water that's got bubbles in it, and it's very refreshing. You know, they do have bottles of water, but this has got bubbles in it. It's fantastic stuff. So, you know, how about another dish? Well, I'll put this over here. This is called self-guilt. You know, all the, you know, you get guilty. I can think about things I did, you know. I think about this fox, you know, that I killed in upstate New York. We were out deer hunting. I mean, I regret that. What the hell was I thinking of? Why would I have done that? You know, I mean, you know, so guilt. There's a lot of things I feel bad about, things that I have done. Just wish I hadn't have done that. I'm going to just turn this camera a little bit here. Just wish I hadn't have done that. You know, so self-guilt, there's another dish, you know. Again, this is just what's been served. It seems like it's just what's been served to us. To me. That's why I'm making this video. I'm trying to understand this. You know, there's people that we come in contact, like bullies, for instance. Now, mostly, you know, you might experience that at younger, you know, during your school years. I experienced that. But I experienced it afterwards too, where I had one job and there was several bullies there. You know, this guy was, don't even want to think about how gross these people were. And now I'm reading, there's an article in nursing home bullies. Apparently there's a lot of bullies in the nursing homes. See, you can't get away from this stuff. You know, they've got rampant sex in I'm not saying that, but they've got, you know, in these nursing homes, there's a lot of sex going on. Apparently there's a lot of bullies that are there. My God, there's a dish, I'm having to, heavy people, you meet people at work, they're bullies, or they, people, you could have anyhow, that's, other people and the problems and there's another plate of food for us to, on this feast that we call life. There's all this stuff that comes out of the blue. You know what I mean? Out of the blue, like, you're eating some soup and you bite down and there's a rock in the soup and you break a tooth. You ever broke a tooth? You bit down on something, eating popcorn, you're minding your own business, you're watching a movie, you're eating some popcorn, you break, your tooth breaks. My God. Things come out of the blue. I'm driving down the road, minding my own business and not breaking the law. There's a big old truck in front of me. Here comes a rock. Well, in about 3 hours, I'm going to go have my windshield replaced, you see. Out of the blue. The other day I got in my Jeep, parked right out in front of the office. I'm going to put it in reverse. I started up, put it in reverse, but instead of you can feel when you hit the gears, it just went straight back like there was nothing there. Nothing there. The cable had broke. Out of the blue, you just, one time I woke up and I had like a sty or a pink eye or something. Oh my God, you talk about that. You think that thing is easy to get rid of? Be careful. Don't touch your eye. I've seen people, you wake up in the morning, they've got boils, they get toothaches, all kinds of things. You wake up, you're sick, out of the blue. There, out of the blue, the waitress comes running by, the waiter or waitress of life comes by and boom, here's another dish out of the blue. I was over here and opened up, I had to go like a cellar. There's a door I can look under the house, and I was getting something and I squatted down and looking, and there's a damn wasp nest, and I turned around to run and tripped and did a somersault. At 70 years old, I do a somersault in my driveway. Well, out of the blue. Well, that took me a week to get over. I hit a wasp nest with my chainsaw one day out over here, around the corner. A bee chased me, 100 feet, or 150 feet, 30 feet, then this way, another 40 feet into the house. The bee followed me into the house. I ended up, after he had stung the crap out of me, I killed the bee inside the house, in the kitchen. He followed me from the tree all the way into the house, out of the blue. So you can lose something out of the blue. Oh, where's my wallet? Where's my phone? My God, that's another thing. You can lose stuff. So that's another part of life. I'm looking at some of how I was going to title this video. Is life unfair, or is God unfair, or what is this thing called life, or life's storms? I was trying, like, what am I trying to say? Disappointments. how many times every week or every month are you disappointed? I didn't get that promotion. I didn't get that raise. My scratch off was a dud, or didn't win the lotto ticket, didn't get promoted. Disappointments. Put that in front of you. Another dish. There's emotional problems. There's another dish, emotional problems. I was at McDonald's just a few days ago. I go there in the morning and get a cup of coffee before I go to work. And for some reason, the cashier just started to cry. She had just got me my coffee. I sat down, and I don't even think I had taken a sip yet, and I started to hear, I don't know what I said to her. I don't know. I don't think it was me. I'm pretty nice to people. Thank you, I know for a fact I didn't say anything to her. What would you like? Hey, I'd like a senior coffee. Take it black. Not very complicated, but there she is, I think some guy was behind it, but whatever. She's got emotional problems. She's crying. I mean, crying. You can hear her, and I guess her mother came and got her. So yeah, emotions can, people are depressed. Thank God I haven't been, that's not on my plate. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. So, that's been a blessing, but emotional problems. That's, then the parents have to, like the parent of that girl at McDonald's, and the parents got to get involved, and, that's got to be, fearful and confusion. Like I'm saying, it's all so many things, and then we've got the environment, there's another. The waiter comes by and puts that plate in front of us. The environment. Well, what do I mean? I mean we are, we're too cold. We're too hot. Huge storms. I mean, golly, I don't know how many people get killed every year. Earthquakes, mudslides, tornadoes, tsunami. Look at Pompeii. The whole city. Everybody there died. They've dug them up now. They're frozen in time. The way they found them, holding on to each other, just so in our lifetime, here where I live in Texas, there's been a couple of tornadoes here, but golly, up around Oklahoma and Kansas and even parts of Texas, these massive tornadoes just kill all kinds of people and destroy things, hailstorms. My boss, he lives on a real nice house with one of these metal roofs. The hail came through and just completely tore, big chunks of hail just ruined his roof. Some people get killed by hail. The environment. Now they say the planting season is all messed up in America. It's been so cold. They're not going to be able to, they haven't been able to plant on time. So now there's going to be a scarcity of wheat. I just got back from the grocery store. We bought hardly anything. That'll be it's over $100. Geez, what the hell did we buy for over $100? I haven't described everything. I wrote here, what I have just described is just a small portion of what we call life. A massive whirlpool of debris that is constantly hitting us and taking us under. We cannot avoid any of this. And finally, on top of this thing we call life, we're told how we need to just focus on God. Love thy Lord with all our heart, mind, and soul. It's just kind of odd, kind of odd. You know, life is odd. Like say that you moved, you know, a 10-speed bicycle. It's got them gears, you know, and you got to go up a hill, you put it in low gear, and it's easier to pedal, and you slowly can go up the hill. And it's like we're given this, you know, we're all born, and we're given a bicycle, and it just happens to be stuck in low gear. So, you know, no matter what you do, it's stuck in low gear. It's like, you know, if the ground is level and flat, if it's flat and you're in low gear, well, your feet are going around, you're pedaling real quick, but you're barely moving. That would be horrible. That would be horrible to have a bike stuck in low gear, especially if there were no hills. It just would not be a comfortable way. But what if you live somewhere and walking's not allowed, and you don't have a car? Everybody has a bicycle, but it's in low gear. I mean, that would be like, life is kind of like that, you know, this feast, you know, the majority of it, you're born, and the waiter comes by and drops all these plates in front of us. We have to deal with it. You know, that's why one of my topics of this was going to be, is God unfair? You know, I mean, what kind of a, you know, they talk about they talk about love, you know. I mean, if you came over to my house and I were to, hey, come on over for dinner, and I were to put a bowl of worms and a mud pie and some ants and a dead frog that I found and some rocks and some dirt, and I mean that, you know, and serve that, you know, here, deal with this. It's just a little odd, you know. I'm a huge believer in God. I do find life odd, very strange, you know. So I wanted to make this video. I'm not even sure, you know. I can't say it's a real uplifting video. I can't say it's a pleasant video, pleasant topic. But it's been on my mind. Just, I haven't made a video in about a year, you know. And a great soul that I know of very well, he once said that life is no place for a gentleman, no place for a lady. This world we live in is no place for a gentleman. You know, I can see that. Another great man that I once knew, Charles Burner, brilliant. He once said that there's only a couple things in life that are nice. He said some of the scenery, you know, the scenery, we've all seen a beautiful lake or the Rocky Mountains, or all over the world there's beautiful scenery, nature. He said that was a good thing. And he said some certain music, not, you know, certain, like Wagner. I remember he used to like Wagner and classical music. He said there was certain music that was good. Music and scenery. I remember him saying that. As for me, the most worthwhile thing that I can think of doing is praying for other people. Even that fox that I shot, I pray for that fox. You know? Animals that I used to hunt, I gave that up a long time ago. Thank God I grew a little bit of compassion. I don't know, I just woke up one day like, what am I doing? I used to love to hunt, and do I really need to be inflicting that sort of suffering on it? Do I need to walk through, is that going to be my walk in life? To be inflicting fear and inflicting pain and inflicting death on innocent, on animals. I mean, I can't tell you how many preachers I've met, ministers, they all go deer hunting. They don't think a thing about it, but it's not right. Then they say, we should be like Christ. What would Jesus do? Be holy like Christ. Walk in the walk. I'm sorry, I cannot picture Jesus Christ sneaking through the woods with a damn gun, shooting Bambi. But yet, there are a bunch of religious people, big leaders, no problem with it, Thank God I saw through that, And I pray for the animals that I have killed. I pray for people I've hurt. I pray for people that just praying for other people. That's meaningful. Yeah, I've got this banquet served out in front of me. All this stuff I talked to you about, I just described. You've got it in front of you too, but God gives us, life gives us a little bit of free time. You're not, we definitely have some free time, and, to spend some of that time praying for other people. Now that's a good thing. We all look forward to Christians look forward to going to heaven. That's there. All different religions, they all look forward to this next life, this heavenly life. Where there aren't mosquitoes that are biting you, there aren't accidents, there aren't severe temperatures, there aren't bitchy people, there aren't wars, there aren't bullies. You're given this beautiful spiritual body, eternal. It doesn't grow old. You don't. There's no dementia. There's you don't have tooth decay. There's nothing that's decaying. There's nothing that's unwanted. There aren't accidents. There aren't severe weather. None of that. In heaven, and people. So how do you get there? That's why I think this praying is a very important part of it. I was telling my wife, there all kinds of books. They got some bookstores. A third of it is dedicated to religious books, or you can go into just a Christian bookstore. It's full of books. And a lot of these books are written by people just trying to convince you that there is a God. But probably the majority of the books are written to inspire you. We need to be inspired. Constantly inspired, It's so that we take the time, be nice to people and pray for people. I mean, one of the greatest realizations that I've had in my entire life. Someone prayed for me. They had to. It's the only answer. I can remember some of my past lives. Okay, that sounds like a little crazy, but it's just what it is. It is what it is. I can't prove it, but I've done some really, really bad things. My God, I'm even too ashamed to mention it in previous past lives. Things that I can remember that took place 2,000 years ago. I can remember this. Why am I, one day I asked myself, why am I not in hell? I should be in hell, right? I got thinking about that. Why am I not in hell? Instead, I'm surrounded by this beautiful place. My home's paid for. I've got 2 vehicles. I have a job, a good job. Things are okay. I can afford the hot water heater. I can afford getting my Jeep fixed. I'll pay cash for my windshield today. I'm not rolling in dough, trust me. But I can appreciate the blessings that I have. Why is that? I should be in hell. And I remember thinking about that. It was about 2 weeks that was just like thinking about that. And one day I just like, my God, that person that I hurt so bad several thousand years ago, that person actually prayed for me. Please. She asking God to forgive that person who was me. Forgive him for what he did. And that's the only explanation. So you have to do the same, It's like pray for people. Pray for people. I like to read books written by nuns. It's just I love what they have to say. Especially the older the book, the better. I mean, some of them I've read are several hundred years old. And these nuns are the ones who have taught me how to pray. It's just beautiful, beautiful. I just love their approach. I like their technique and the philosophy of it, on how to pray. This is what we can do. There are some periods of calm, when something out of the blue isn't getting us, or there is, some days will go by when you can, pray, take a moment. It's to the point, like anything that happens. Sometimes, all of a sudden my wife is feeling sick, or I don't think, oh my God, I got to call the doctor. No, I stop what I'm doing and I reach out to God. I don't reach to the phone to call the emergency room. Nothing like that has happened, but you know what I mean? I don't reach for the doctors when things happen, even if it's something mechanical happening. When my Jeep broke, immediately I stop. Lord, I believe in God. He created this. He created this. So I ask him to please help it work itself out. You know? Let it work itself out. You know? So when I pray, of course in the Bible it says, God is saying, ask me whatever you want, but ask in the name of my Son, and then I'll grant it to you. You know, ask in the name of my Son. You know, go through him. But what I like about what these nuns have said is that, you know, I mean, who has the ear, whose heart belongs to Jesus? Who does Jesus listen to? His mother, Mary. If Mary presents something to her Son, he will listen. He obeys his mother. So I have prayers, and you know, my prayers, I mean, you know what I mean by tainted, you know, like tainted evidence. You know, you have to wear special gloves because just your skin can taint, can contaminate. You know, you can go into a perfectly, you know, undisturbed place and just go in there and just touch things, and you've contaminated it, you know. And it's like, I'm a person who's 100% contaminated. I am contaminated. So what the nuns have taught me is that take your prayers to Mary. And Mary has promised that she will take what you are saying, what you're praying for, she will take your prayers and present them to her Son. The Son does not refuse, the good Son does not refuse the good mother. What to speak of Jesus refusing Mary? See how it works? So Mary takes, you know, so I offer up my prayers, this completely contaminated. They've gone through my mouth, they've gone through my mind, they've gone through my filthy heart. But here they are, and Mary, she kind of like edits them, and she like spiritually edits it. She spiritually, I guess, sprinkles water on whatever she just makes my prayers like holy. And then she presents them to her Son. And what the Son knows, the Father knows. You see, what the Son knows, the Father knows. You know, the thing is to get your prayers to Jesus. Because if Jesus gets it, the Father gets it. What the Son knows, the Father knows. You know, and so you've got this, yeah, it's, you know, you can... I don't want my prayers to be contaminated. You know, I'm just contaminated. I mean, in a million different ways, but still, you take the time, you know, and with the, you know, Hail Mary, you know, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. It's there, you know. You know, please deliver my prayers unto your Son. To your Son. And she takes what you say and cleans it up, you know. Like say you write an essay and it's full of mistakes and, you know, contaminated, just full of mistakes and the grammar's weird. But, you know, if you really took a really smart person who understood, I see what this person's trying to say. Well, let me just, you know, and say this letter's going to, you know, the a very, very important person, well, you'd want it to be nice, Like we just sent out a letter to all the owners in Heritage Estates, a big subdivision. So my boss wrote this letter, and then my wife edited it. And well, it'd be better to say like this and do like this, and because you want it to be as best as you can. So Mary is like that. She sees what we're trying to say, and she knows how to present it. And our prayer is then presented to her Son. She does that. Hail Mary, full of grace, overflowing with grace, overflowing with love. What is that grace? Her love and grace is that she will take our prayers and present them to her Son. This is just, it just rings a bell. There's a lot of different ways to pray. I could see why pray like Catholics. Look at the Catholic, all these priests. What good has their prayers done them? All that praying that these priests have done. How is that? Just because you pray, I don't think it automatically means that somehow you're miraculously turned into a saint. I just have faith that when I pray to Mary, I formulate my prayer that I want to go to Jesus. I formulate it and I place it like on a plate here to Mary. Please, Mary, please present. Look at what I'm trying to say. Make it okay, and then give it to your Son. And what the Son knows, the Father will know. So, kind of like how I pray. There's other religions, say that all you need to do is repeat the holy name of the Lord, because the name of God is so powerful that it's like just saying the word, just saying it fixes everything. It's like an inoculation. Just say the word, Christos. Just say it, Christos, Christos. Say it over and over, Christos, and it makes everything okay. I've done that for years. Just saying the holy name, just the power of the holy name. But personally, I like, I like to say something that I make up, like instead of just saying, someone gives you this name that you've never even heard before, or you just say it, Christos, Christos, Christos. Well, like I say, I'd rather put it in words, but there's different ways, I'm not knocking the prayer of the holy name. I think, definitely not. I'm not knocking anything. I'm nobody to knock anything. Some of the greatest people I've ever read about in my life simply chanted or simply repeated the holy name. So, that's there. I think that's totally bona fide and powerful. I kind of like saying my prayers like I'm talking to somebody. So, and I go through Mary. God says in the Bible, well, whatever you want to say something, tell me in the name of, but do it in the name of my Son. Do you have to go through Mary? I don't know. I don't think so. Sometimes, man, if there's an emergency, Lord, dear Lord, in the name of your Son, Lord Jesus Christ, the house is on fire. Do something, But if I got the time, then I want to really, really put some effort into it, I'll go through Mary. Yeah. Well, hope this video's turned out better than the one I made this morning. What I've done is, you know how you can take your camera and you can see, you can hit that reverse thing, and now I can see myself. That's what I'm doing, so I can watch it, make sure everything is working, and I can see that it's recording. I'm using a lapel mic, supposed to get better quality sound. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for listening.